you trying to de-pants me, you weirdo? Gosh dang. There's a lot of people here today. And why is this thing all weird? I don't get it. There we go. Now you decided you don't need to do that? Okay. Why is my hat on the ground? Why is my gimbal going all crazy? Why is everybody either showing up or leaving all at the same time? So many questions. So many questions. I mean, some of these answers are because it is nice out after it rained yesterday. Let's go. Thank you. You got it? Okay. Okay, let's see if we can get on our trail before 10,000 other people decide to go on the same trail that nobody ever takes. Because I just saw 2 people come down. Okay, I'm so confused. There's this big ass camper over here that there's no overnight camping. And they have obviously been here all night because it is, there's blocks under the tires to level it out. Oh, here, I got to throw your poop away. I decided to poop in the parking lot earlier. She's having tummy issues again, too. Okay, come on. There we go. We just gotta get off the trail a little bit. And then I can take you off the leash. Nope, this way. This way. So many people. Okay, come here. I'm gonna take you off. Oh, sorry for the shoddy camera work, everybody. I'm trying to. Gosh, dang it. It's actually not as busy as I thought it would be, but it's like all of a sudden there's so much going on at the trailhead. And why did they change the dashboard to where I can't even see signal anymore? So I have no idea what's going on with my stream ever anymore. I don't know. I don't get it. I have my coat on, and my guess is I'm gonna take that thing off because that sun is getting hot. There was a bunch of fog here. It's beautiful out. 48 degrees is what my vehicle said, which is why I put my coat on, because it's super humid, so it feels really cold. But, this is actually our first time on Mount Helena for probably almost a month. So figured I'd give her a chance. We're just doing a little recovery pace. today because I did 2 bouts of high intensity yesterday. She set a daily distance PR yesterday. Would have been about 11.5 miles. So her, but I never put my alerts on. Not that it necessarily matters, because it seems like all the alerts do is like freeze up my stream. So oh look, here comes somebody down this trail. Why is there so many people on this trail? It is not like nobody ever used this trail. Nari, hey Nari, make sure it's okay to say hi. She's not gonna care. She obviously doesn't care. She's just gonna go for it. Yeah. Sorry.
Which could match that energy, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Come on. Even though this is a recovery pace, I'm still pushing this pretty hard, trying to get away from the freaking trailhead. When your legs aren't warmed up, starting off with a 28 degree or 28% grade is rough. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I've talked about this before, how like if you had to rate from the trailhead here, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Essentially 6 ways you can go up. They are called Ambrose, which is the longest way up, because then you have to jump on like some of the other trails in order to get all the way up, because it doesn't go up. It is the lowest trail on the mountain. Next up from that is Prairie. And then Prairie at least goes up to the Helena Ridge Trail, which, so you'd have to jump on that for the last little bit. Like, what would it be, about half a mile to come up the spine to get to the top. Up from that is 1906. 1906 is almost makes it to the top, but even it has to connect to the Helena Ridge Trail to go the rest of the way to the top. But you're talking maybe a quarter of a mile. Then next over you have Power Line, which is technically the steepest, I guess you could say. Next from that is this trail, No Name. But No Name only makes it halfway up, and then it connects to Power Line, which is the steepest. Now, No Name is steeper than Power Line, but it doesn't go all the way to the top. Then next over you have Prospect Shafts. Now, ranked in difficulty, Power Line or this, I'll count these two together. Well, no, I can't count them together. So Power Line or this then Prospect Shafts for steepness, then 1906, then Prairie, then Ambrose. Popularity. People will go up 1906, which is by far the most popular trail out here, because it is moderately steep. Like, it's not too bad. It's what, if most people that are going to go to the top, it's what they can handle. After 1906 is Powerline. Powerline gets a lot of traffic because it goes straight up the mountain. So for people to say they did Powerline is just like a huge feat for most people. And it's the shortest way to the top. Next after that is Prospect Shafts. Again, it's pretty steep, so it's not, you know, really popular, but it's really techy, kind of like Powerline. Powerline's really techy too. But once you get to the top, you have a really cool section that is not techy, and it's kind of a buttery trail, not too steep, until you get to Hogback. And then Hogback is really steep, really techy. So as far as techy trails go, it's the most techy. Next popularity is Prairie. Prairie appeals to the older people because it is, or people with families, because it is the most gentle climb. Now it's a lot longer, but it's the most gentle climb up. Then you have Ambrose. Ambrose is more for your really old, I have no intention climbing to the top of the mountain. Because the jump off of Ambrose to intersect with all the other trails is really steep. So it's like, I'm just gonna go for a nice little nature hike with hardly any vert, but the views are really nice, so overlooking the city, and you're in the outdoors. And then lastly, you have this. 2 years ago, the reason why this is part of Nessa's route is because nobody was ever on it. So don't eat that. You're having tummy issues because you ate something you shouldn't have. But nobody ever used to take this. Ever. So that's why we took it. And it's super steep, which is one reason why nobody takes it. And it's like, if you're gonna go up this way, you might as well do Powerline versus this, because it's a little bit longer. Oh. But here, recently, in the last, well, since we got back from Europe, everybody's been on here. Now, some of that might be because Nessa's route is a route I published to the public, and there's not very many of those up here. So that's probably one reason why people have been taking it. You have certain segments like Powerline, which is a Strava segment, but there's not any routes. I think this might be the only route per se. And since it's a published route, people can see how many miles it is, the vert, total vert, all that kind of stuff. But man, it's been like, it seems like everybody's on this now instead of any of the other trails. And it's really super frustrating. Not because I think this is my own personal trail, but because I used to come this way because nobody was on it, and now everybody's on it. Oh, I am sweating, but that breeze is cold. There's a slight breeze. So if I take my coat off, I'm probably gonna freeze my ass off. So I'm just gonna have to leave it on. When we come down, I won't be working that hard, so it won't matter. Like, I'm working my ass off to climb this thing, power hike it, and I'm only doing a 24.5-minute mile pace. But I am a little bit tired. I was supposed to be out here an hour and a half ago, but yesterday's double high intensity session kinda wore my ass out. But I felt good. I felt good. I set PRs yesterday morning on a few segments, and then after looking at it, it's because they're new segments. I ran this stuff all the time, and I think I ran it a little bit faster some days, but it's in their new segments. One of them I'm gonna have to see if I can. Oh, there's a bunch of deer up here. Maybe by the end of the summer, try and do what is she, McGreen or whatever her name is, Strava sniping. See if I can do some of that, because Adam Peterman has one of them, and it's about a 1 mile maybe segment, but and it's uphill. I don't think there's a chance in hell I will be. Nari, hey, Nari, stop, Nari. Little butthead. Nari. That's the first time she's actually chased deer. Usually I yell at her. Okay, she didn't actually chase him. Anyways, he ran that segment, and it's pretty steep uphill, and he averaged a 7:45 minute pace. I don't know as if I can actually do that or not. It'll be interesting to see. I'm sure I'm gonna try though. I didn't know he's actually done any running around here, but it does make sense, because like this last weekend, the Don't Fence Me In trail run was happening, and we usually do get a few pros, usually a Hoka athlete and an Adidas and maybe a few others. So it makes sense that he would be over here. Now this segment isn't part of the race, because it goes the opposite direction down the trail that the race is on, the race course. But if he came like earlier to just check out the trails or something, it would make sense. I mean, he's only 115 miles away from here. That's where he lives. So. Jim Walmsley also has a crown on another segment over on Rodney Ridge. That one I can definitely take down if I can figure out where it's at again. The problem is the whole Strava segment thing. With some of their latest updates, it's kind of broken, so it's hard to tell where any of them are at. It's like I was trying to figure out if I was still number 8 on the all-time of that one segment, and it didn't pop up. I'm like, oh, maybe they got rid of that segment and merged it into like some of these other segments, or broke it up into some of these other segments, since there was all these new segments. Well, then after my run yesterday, that segment was listed as far as it was like my 3rd fastest or something time up that. And then I was able to look at the all-time list and see that I was still number 8. Oh, and yesterday's time, I felt just sluggish, and I had to walk a bit more than I was hoping I was going to need to, and I ended up 2 minutes slower than my all-time PR. So I look at that as pretty nice, because I'm really early on in my training, so to be within 2 minutes is pretty good with as much as I was walking. So we will shoot for trying to PR that sometime this summer. Hello. You want to talk about RBF? Not only was that RBF, but she was just cranky. I'm sure as I walked by her, I almost said something. I don't think she liked the fact that I was live streaming. She was like, seriously? Yeah, seriously. It's like, what was that? Was that last year or 2 years ago? I don't remember what it was. Must have been last year, because I think Nessa had passed away, because it was just me running. And I was doing loops in, I think it's called Centennial Park. It's like a mile-and-a-half loop around the park, I think. So I was just doing multiple loops, and some old guy, as I went by, made a snide comment, and he was like, "You're not that important." And at that time, not only did I have 3 of my athletes that I coach were in the chat, so to them I'm kind of important, and we were just talking coaching stuff, but I was rated by, I don't remember who it was, probably Cole Runnings or somebody. I had like 60 people watching. So the next push-ups. It's fairly flat, but it's gonna kind of be cheating here because we're on such a high slope. But oop, here we go. I'll do the best. This is sort of flat. That's as flat as I'm gonna find out here until we get to the top. Have you ever had a phase where you ran every day? I do. I run every day already. I don't live stream all my runs like yesterday because I was doing high intensity stuff, which is very hard when you're doing more tempo type stuff to hold on to a gimbal and run. It just doesn't work. So there, or like on Saturdays, I normally do my long run and I'm way out in the back country where I don't get signal, but I run every day. It may look like I'm walking right now. I'm actually power hiking. Even the most elite pros would be power hiking up this because this is so steep. Oh man. So able to get to a 14-minute 2 mile on the treadmill last November. Nice. A little bit every now and then. Oh, that's pretty cool. You don't have to run every day to be in great shape. A lot of your pro runners out there run 3 to 5 times a week. Some of them take an actual full rest day. But also a lot of them will cross train, so bike or elliptical or whatever instead of running. Whew. I coach one athlete that only runs 3 times a week. Mostly because they still like to lift and everything, and that they're should be able to run every day in between, right? Yeah, I mean, it just depends. That one of my athletes, he runs 3 times a week. He runs Monday and Tuesday, and then he does a long run on Saturday. It's all about, when it comes to, especially if you're training for something, if you're in a training block, it's all about training load. So if you can't handle it, which a lot of people can't, because even your, like I said, your pros can't handle a high load, or else they risk injuries. You can do other stuff, and everything else you do counts into your training load, whether it's biking, elliptical, lifting in the gym, whatever. Oh man. Is it better to have rest days? Well, you need to have rest days no matter what, but rest doesn't necessarily mean, because you can have what they call active recovery, which counts as a rest day. Nari, hey, Nari, come on. Oh, that last little section there is at a 64% grade. But if you need rest days, like a full on just not doing anything rest day, you got to take it. You got to listen to your body. Me, active recovery is actually better for me than taking a full day off. But even me, sometimes I have to just take a full day off. Especially if my training load gets pretty high. Sometimes my body just says, we're done, we need a rest day. But even like last week, I did 130 miles. My training load was 32 hours of actual training. But I still ended up, what did we do, like a little, ended up being about a 6.5 mile little recovery run at the end of the week instead of taking a full rest day. No, 130 miles in the week. Now, could I do 130 miles in a day? Yeah, I could. My 100-mile PR for races, 15.5 hours. I did 100 miles, so we're gonna try and beat that time next year at the USATF 100-mile road championships, which is in February. I was trying to beat it this last year, but ended up having some severe cramping 40 miles into the race. I had a DNF. Look at that. It's busy as it is out here. There's only a couple people up here. Well, the fog is pretty much all burned away now. Just an hour ago, it was pretty thick. It's supposed to be pretty warm today. It's supposed to be like 80 degrees tomorrow. All right, come on. Get away from the cliff. Touch circle or don't count. Oh, that wind is cold. Chilly. All right, come here. You gotta touch the circle. Come here. Come here. Touch the circle or it doesn't count. She's like, I don't care. Whew. Well, over there is the Continental Divide, about 10 miles that way. And that's the high ridge there. Continental Divide. I really want to run the trail to go in that direction, but I ran up there the other day and there's still 20-foot snow drifts in a lot of the areas. Whew. Okay. So we are going to continue on Nessa's route. So we're gonna drop down the trail here and this trail right here, and we're gonna run down this ridge and then hang down into the bowl and come around the lower part of the front end. So that being said, I still have to warn everybody because I will have spotty stream reception until I get over there. So about half a mile. And of course course, this guy, he just heard me say that we're gonna go that way, and he has to jump up and start going that way. It's like, dude, why didn't you just wait like 10 seconds and let me go ahead of you? Whatever. You do you, buddy. You do you. Oh. But it is primarily downhill, a little bit of moderate uphill, but for the most part, we will be able to run the whole rest of the way, which would be about, I don't know, 3 miles, 5K probably, all this. So. Missed the first part of your, hold on, I gotta miss the, it's not gonna show me. I missed the first part of your message. Oh, there we go. Nice, okay. For training for a 5-minute mile, what would that look like? It's gonna have a lot of VO2. If your focus is just 5-minute mile training, it is nothing but VO2 max and lactate threshold training. That's all you're going to be doing. So higher intensity stuff. So you definitely would not want it in your first probably, like if you're talking a year, first few months is going to be nothing but VO2 max focus training. And then eventually you would start working in some LT2 and LT1. Come on. Hey. Yeah. I don't know why. Well, for me right here, I don't know why. Well, for me right here, this is what I was talking about, where my signal goes in and out. So I will lag for at least another quarter mile from where I'm at right now. It'll have portions where it'll get better, and there is no cell service off to my left. So I'm trying to just get through this section as fast as I can, which is not an easy feat because there are some very techie, rocky parts here. Whew. I ran into during stimulate doing stuff on tired legs, which is important when you're at mile 80 of a 100-mile race with, 40,000 feet of vert. Very important. Trying to read chat while I'm in a real kind of techie kind of trail. It's fun sometimes. I have to very much stop. I should. Actually, I don't know why I don't have it yet, because I have line of sight of 2 cell towers right now. Wow, there are just so many freaking deer out here right now. Goodness gracious. That's a good girl. Good girl, Nari. This other dog came out of nowhere, chasing the deer. She just stood there and watched. She didn't join in. Oh, found somebody to play with now. Wow, this used to be such a nice area to go through. And again, I complain about this all the time, about how they do the forestry management here, because this is city park. And I don't know who they hire to do it, but however they handle it, they need to, I don't know what their philosophy is. I'm not a forestry management person, but you have all these dead trees. Like this one right here is obviously beetle kill. That one right there, beetle kill. This one right here is suffering from beetle kill. Yet instead of cutting down those ones, I can look up here and see that they've cut down perfectly good, healthy green trees. Makes no sense to me. And this used to be one of the nicer areas because in the heat of the summer you had a lot of, you had more what's the word I'm looking for? You weren't as exposed. You had more cover. And now they've opened it all up, and so you're just gonna be all exposed again. It's like, you guys are just ridiculous. Like, I get it, cutting down all the beetle, like the dead trees, the beetle kill, I'm fine with that. But it's like last year, over on the front side of the mountain, they did a lot of chopping of things down. And 80% of it was perfectly healthy, like younger trees. Like that are, I mean, for a tree to get, like say as tall as this one, oh, I need to plug my phone in. For a tree to get as like tall as this one, that's like 40 years of growth. Did I answer your question? I think I did. Uh-oh, I don't have my battery. Gosh, dang it. Okay, well, I did not bring my external battery with me, so I will, what is my mile time? So my mile time recently, my mile time is a 450 mile. I used to be able to do a little bit faster than that. Now, granted, that mile time would have been from 3 years ago. I have not done a mile time trial for a few years, so I have no idea what it would be. Probably closer to like a 510 or 520. But when I was younger, I was able to do a 410 mile, but I'm not so young anymore. How old am I? I'm 46. 33, nice. You were never a runner? I wasn't either. I was a decathlete in college. I could sprint 100 meters and I could run, I could jump, and I could throw things. That was it. I was not a runner. My PR for 100 meters was 10.54, so I was a speedy guy, not a long distance guy. And back then for me a mile was a long distance. Not anymore. Like, I don't even get warmed up until about the 5K mark. You didn't play any sports either? Picked up running and lifting weights towards the end of high school and into college, and he's been pretty consistent. Maintains like an average level. Well, the thing you gotta remember is not everybody has the same genetics wise, and that's why like most people, no matter how much they train, they're not gonna run a 5-minute mile. And so even though he trains like that and you say he maintains an average level, it's actually, you know, it could be the most he can do as far as running goes. Because not everybody can run fast, not everybody can run far distances, and very rarely do you find somebody that can do both. You think, no, not everybody, not even close can everybody do a 5-minute mile. It is all, if you get into the science behind it, in order to run a 5-minute mile, because here's what you got to think of. When you're talking like mile times, especially when you're talking 5-minute mile, distance and speed relates to the muscle fiber makeups of your body, and everybody is different. So unless you have a good makeup of type 2 fibers and type 1 fibers, muscle fibers, unless you have the right makeup, I should say, it ain't gonna happen. You're not gonna run a 5-minute mile. So people that have predominantly more slow twitch muscle fibers versus fast twitch, it ain't gonna happen. Take somebody like Courtney DeWalter, who, where'd my dog go? Nari, this way. We're going this way, come on. Courtney DeWalter, she would never be able to run a 5-minute mile. But she holds pretty much smashed every course record out there for 100+ mile races. Because she can run a 7:30-minute mile pace for 100 miles. She'll never be able to run a 5-minute mile pace. So it's all about your genetics. Oh, more on the slim side of Korea, so I average 5'9" frame, yeah. Well, I'm actually gonna have to end the stream because my other battery, so we are going to end the stream here. Normally I would go the whole distance. Normally I pack my external battery with me, and I didn't this time. But thank you, everybody. I've seen quite a few people jumping in throughout the stream. Thanks, everybody. Depending on where we go tonight, I might live stream tonight as well, because we'll do a little 5K, just more to tire her out, but before we go to bed. But we'll see where we end up going. Can you message me on Discord? Yeah, feel free. Yep, absolutely. So I will see you guys next time, but I got to end it because I'm down to 3% battery. So bye, everybody. Love you all, and I'll see you guys next time.